Before the acquisition of Midway Games by Warner Brothers, they decided to go out with a bang and made a Mortal Kombat game that included all characters from the series up to that point. Released back in 2006 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and a first on the 7th generation console, the Wii, Mortal Kombat Armageddon marks the end of the 3D era storyline and is a turning point for things to come, because when we revisit Armageddon again is in Mortal Kombat 9, where the timeline is reset. But that is a video for another time. We reach a point at an epic battle between all the characters as they got too powerful and is a threat to all the realms, as it is believed this could lead to the destruction of the Mortal Kombat Universe. As things move along, a huge pyramid appears and bursts into flames. The surviving characters then make their way up the pyramid, but it is revealed that Blaze, a character which debuted in Deadly Alliance, was on the top of the pyramid to prevent the eventual outcome of Armageddon and killing anyone in the process to achieve this. We do explore the story further in the new Conquest mode, where the character named Delia from Edenia had foreseen the events up to Armageddon and set up a plan to save the realms. She, along with her husband Argus, constructed the pyramid and placed their two sons Taven and Dagon in a dormant state until it was time to fight Blaze at the pyramid and prevent Armageddon. The new Conquest mode borrows elements from Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, as the open world aspect in the last game was stripped back. I'd say it was more like a God of War type of mode, not necessarily platforming, but the one-on-one fighting aspect was still included, and this time around not as a training mode. As I said before, you dive more into the storyline and follow Taven across different realms on his quest to reach Blaze. We do have the usual arcade mode and endurance mode, which is basically a survival mode, which I quite enjoyed, well up to 6 rounds and then I lost, but maybe I'll try and beat that someday. Also introduced was air combat, where you can basically just do combos within the air while your opponent is up there. Also included was a new creator fighter, where you could create a customized character and unlock different fighting styles and clothing items with the coins earned through Conquest mode, the one-on-one fighting arcade modes, and as well as the new minigame that was introduced, which was called Mortal Kombat, which was basically a racing mode similar to Mario Kart, but had its own Mortal Kombat twist to it as usual. The crypt also returns with less items to unlock, such as artwork, videos, costumes and music, but this time around you can actually see what you are buying. A few drawbacks the game had was its limited fighting style for each character, as well as the new fatality system, Creative Fatality, where no character had their own individual fatalities, but you could execute your own type of fatality depending on how fast your button input was. The game features 62 fighters in total. I would name them all, but that would take a while. But my main standouts are Serena, who is finally playable after being featured in the Game Boy Advance port of Deadly Alliance, as well as Chameleon, who returns from the Nintendo 64 port of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and Meat from Mortal Kombat 4. But as I said before, characters were limited to one fighting style and one weapon style, and not all characters had an alternate costume to equip. In my personal opinion, I have mixed feelings about this game. Some might say it was received well, others not. I feel like if the studio focused more on developing on the newer generation of consoles, they could have expanded the amount of movesets and bring back the fatalities for each character. Then again, they probably didn't have enough time to develop on a completely different game engine, which overall can cause a delay, which I understand. Anyways, comparing this to Deadly Alliance and Deception, although this game has a strong point in the number of characters to play as, I found other aspects lacking in comparison. I am a huge fan of the customization, but I didn't really spend much time in it. Another thing I liked was the revised Conquest mode, and I can see what would later become the story modes within the later games, and I do actually appreciate seeing how the series has evolved over the years. Is this the best game in the 3D era? No. Given the state that Midway was in, I can see they tried to cut corners and rush the release of the game. But then again, that's just my opinion. And if this hadn't happened, we would not have the games we currently get to enjoy, especially the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise that there was a demise in Midway Games that was eventually acquired by Warner Brothers and then turned into NetherRealm Studios. Anyway, that concludes my video. Thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate all the support you've given this last month. Thank you for that. I will be back next week Friday with another video, and within the week if there's any updates to Mortal Kombat and things like that.